everyone, I'm Ankita Pokharel. In today's video, we're going to deal with a reading section on the topic How do animals spend the winter? Let's begin the class now.
How do animals spend the winter? The weather gets colder, days get shorter, and leaves change color and fall off the trees. Soon, winter is here. Snow covers the ground, people live in warm houses and wear heavy clothes outside. Our food comes from the grocery store. But what about animals? Animals do many different amazing things to get through the winter. Some of them migrate. This means they travel to other places where the weather is warmer or they can find food. Many birds migrate in the autumn. Because the trip can be dangerous, some travel in large flocks. For example, geese fly in noisy, V-shaped groups. Other kinds of birds fly alone. How do they know when it is time to leave for the winter? Scientists are still studying this. Many see migration as part of a yearly cycle of changes a bird goes through. The cycle is controlled by changes in the amount of daylight and the weather. Birds can fly very long distances. For example, the Arctic tern nests close to the North Pole in the summer. In autumn, it flies south all the way to Antarctica. In spring, it returns north again. Most migrating birds travel shorter distances, but how do they find their way to the same place each year? Birds seem to navigate like sailors once did, using the sun, moon, and stars for direction. They also seem to have a compass in their brain for using the Earth's magnetic field. Other animals migrate too. There are a few mammals, like some bats, caribou, and elk, and whales that travel in search of food each winter. Many fish migrate. They may swim south or move into deeper, warmer water. Some insects also migrate. Certain butterflies and moths fly very long distances. For example, monarch butterflies spend the summer in Canada and the North US. They migrate as far south as Mexico for the winter. Most migrating insects go much shorter distances. Many, like termites and Japanese beetles, move downward into the soil. Earthworms also move down, some as far as 6 feet below the surface. Number B. Some animals remain and stay active in the winter. They must adapt to the changing weather. Many make changes in their behavior or bodies. To keep warm, animals may grow new, thicker fur in the autumn. On weasels and snowshoe rabbits, the new fur is white to help them hide in the snow. Food is hard to find in the winter. Some animals like squirrels, mice, and beavers gather extra food in the autumn and store it to eat later. Some, like rabbits and deer, spend winter looking for moss, twigs, bark, and leaves to eat. Other animals eat different kinds of food as the seasons change. The red fox eats fruit and insects in the spring, summer, and autumn. In the winter, it cannot find these things, so instead it eats small rodents. C. Animals may find winter shelter in holes in trees or logs, under rocks or leaves or underground. Some mice even build tunnels through the snow. To try to stay warm, animals like squirrels and mice may huddle close together. Certain spiders and insects may stay active if they live in frost-free areas and can find food to eat. There are a few insects, like the winter stonefly, crane fly, and snow fleas, that are normally active in winter. Also, some fish stay active in cold water during the winter. D. Some animals hibernate for part or all of the winter. This is a special, very deep sleep. The animal's body temperature drops and its heartbeat and breathing slow down. It uses very little energy. In the autumn, these animals get ready for winter by eating extra food and storing it as body fat. They use this fat for energy while hibernating. Some also store food like nuts or acorns to eat later in the winter. Bears, skunks, chipmunks, and some bats hibernate. Moving forward to section E. Cold-blooded animals like fish, frogs, snakes, and turtles have no way to keep warm during the winter. Snakes and many other reptiles find shelter in holes or burrows and spend the winter inactive or dormant. This is similar to hibernation. Water makes a good shelter for many animals. When the weather gets cold, they move to the bottom of lakes and ponds. There, frogs, turtles, and many fish hide under rocks, logs, or fallen leaves. They may even bury themselves in the mud. They become dormant. Cold water holds more oxygen than warm water, and the frogs and turtles can breathe by absorbing it through their skin. So within this text, we got to know that animals have evolved various strategies to cope with the challenges of winter, which include a decrease in temperature, limited food availability, and harsh weather conditions. These strategies can be broadly categorized as follows. Number 1 is migration. So birds as well as some mammals migrate to warmer regions with abundant food resources. During this process, birds use various cues such as daylight, weather patterns, and the Earth's magnetic field to navigate during their long journeys. For the navigation, birds use cues as daylight, weather, and Earth's magnetic field. During this process, migration can be perilous undertaking with animals facing exhaustion, predation, and the risk of getting lost as well. So the next thing we got to know is about adaptation and remaining active. Here we got to know that animals that stay active in winter adapt to the changing environment through physical and behavioral changes. The physical adaptations include growing thicker fur or changing fur color for camouflage in case of snowshoe rabbits, weasels, and in behavioral adaptations, it involves seeking shelter, huddling together for warmth, and adjusting foraging strategies. The next thing we came across through the text is about seeking shelter and limited activity. Here we came across the fact that many animals find shelter in various places such as holes in trees, under rocks, or underground burrows. We also got to know that some animals remain somewhat active during winter, particularly in areas where temperatures are less extreme or food is available. The examples here may include certain insects, spiders, and fish in cold water. We also got to know about hibernation, the fourth point. Hibernation is a state of deep sleep characterized by a significant drop in body temperature, slowed heartbeat, breathing, and also use of minimal energy. How do animals prepare for hibernation? By eating extra food, which helps them store it as fat. And some also store food like nuts, acorns, etc. We came across cold-blooded animals or ectotherms as well. So in the text, it's mentioned that cold-blooded animals such as reptiles, amphibians, and fish cannot regulate their body temperature internally. How do they survive winter? They survive winter by becoming inactive or dormant. And they also seek shelter in various locations. In case of aquatic animals, they may move to the bottom of lakes and ponds, while land animals may use burrows or other shelter areas. So this is what is the concise form of the text that we have just read. So here is an assignment for you all. In a paragraph, write the key points on the diversity of strategies that animals, birds, or insects use to survive winter. Looking back to the text and going to the major discussion about the text, it's going to be easy for you to convert it into a paragraph. How did your class go today? If you have any suggestions or feedback, feel free to reach out to us at learning@dearwalk.edu.np. See you in the next class with another lesson. Thank you.